All right, for this video, I wanted to give you a quick 2022 tax season update, and I also wanted to cover a number of different types of issues and errors I'm seeing on tax returns. So I get a lot of feedback through YouTube and just my blog and via email with taxpayers that are having their refunds adjusted by the IRS automatically, and they're not knowing why. And that's fair question to ask. Is you filed a return that said you were going to get X amount of dollars back, and then when you look at your bank account, a different number is deposited into your account. What happened, right? So I want to cover 6 of the most common issues that I see. Obviously, this is not an all-inclusive list. There's a litany of other issues that can go on with tax returns. But what I'm going to do is cover the 6 most common ones that I see, not just this year, but even a lot of these apply to prior years as well. Quick reminder, just broadly speaking, the filing deadline. Okay, super important not to miss the filing deadline. Filing deadline for this year is April 18th, 2022. Get your return filed on or before that date. If you need more time to get everything together, that's fine. File an extension via Form 4868. Please file it electronically. Do not paper file this. The reason why is you don't get any confirmation immediately that the return was accepted, or the extension was accepted rather. If you paper file it, it's going to sit in a box somewhere for months before the IRS opens it. So get some more peace of mind by filing it electronically. You'll get a confirmation within 24 hours. All right. Now, on to the refund issues and all the adjustments. If you filed a return and the return amount that you thought you were going to get was adjusted, either up or down, right? The IRS is supposed to send you a notice which outlines those changes and why they made those adjustments, okay? They are obligated to do that for you as a U.S. taxpayer. One of the most common notices is a CP11 notice. This, again, it outlines the adjustments. It lets them know, you filed this, we have this information on file, this is why we changed it, and you look at the amounts and make sure it's accurate, right? Really review your return, look at the notices, because frankly, the IRS gets stuff wrong all the time. So just make sure that whatever changes they're making, you agree with. If not, then we have to tackle that issue separately. But let's get into the 6 I've got listed here. And again, this is not an all-inclusive list, right? These are, again, the most common ones that I see. So the first one is federal withholding not being correct. The amount of federal withholding tax that you report on your return is credited against your liability. What that means is that when your employer takes money out of your paycheck to cover that federal withholding, that is going to be applied as a credit against ultimately what you would owe anyway. The reason why this is important that the number is accurate is because the IRS has a copy of these W-2s. So if you look at your W-2, if you had multiple jobs during the year, you're going to be adding up the W-2s. But on Form W-2 from your employer or employers, if you had multiple jobs during the year, in box 2 on that Form W-2, you have the federal withholding amount. Okay, so add up all those amounts, and that is the number that is ultimately reported on your 1040, line 25A. Okay, so that is the credit you get for the federal income tax withheld. If that number does not match what's in the IRS's system, they are going to adjust your refund amount, right? So in other words, the IRS is going to have federal withholding, let's say $10,000, and when you look at your W-2s and you add it all up, it was $9,500. Well, the IRS is going to go with the number they have, and so they're going to adjust your refund down by $500. Okay. The second big one is estimated tax credit payments, right? So if you have to make estimated payments during the year, you submit those payments normally quarterly. A lot of taxpayers just do one big payment at the beginning of the year. That's fine too. But those are submitted on 1040 ES vouchers. The amounts that you actually pay to the IRS during the year as estimated payments, you total all those up, you report them on line 26 of your 1040. Now, if the amount you actually paid doesn't match with the amount that you report on your return, the IRS is going to make a correction, right? Because they are going based on their records, which show what did you actually pay during the year. And then they validate that with what you're reporting on the return. If there's a discrepancy, then they're going to adjust your tax return. All right, next one on the list is earned income credit calculation. So the EITC or EIC, however you want to abbreviate it, the earned income tax credit is driven by a couple of variables, right? So it's driven by what is your earned income for the year, and it's within a $50 ranges. So if you actually look at the tables in Pub 596, the ranges on income are in $50 increments, right? So you have to be very precise about what your earned income is in order to accurately find where you fall on the table. So your earned income, your filing status, and the number of qualifying children you have is ultimately going to determine what your earned income tax credit is. Okay, so if you don't use the precise amount, the IRS computer is going to go through all these variables and they're going to calculate what they think you should have gotten. And if it's not matching up correctly, they're going to adjust your return. So when you calculate your earned income tax credit, you've got to be very careful to report exactly the precise amount that you should be claiming. This is why using tax prep software can be very beneficial, because the software should compute this for you automatically in theory, so long as the software is calculating it appropriately and you inputted all the information correctly. All right. Now, the fourth one on the list there is the refundable child tax credit. Okay, so refundable child tax credits reported on Form 8812. You'll recall that for 2021, the amounts are different, right? It's either $3,000 or $3,600 per child, depending on their age. And the 2021 payments, there was an advance payment feature, meaning that a lot of taxpayers started getting an advance portion of their credit in July 2021, leading up until December 2021. Now, when you compute the credit on 8812 and attach it to your Form 1040, you are supposed to, if you did receive these advance payments, you're supposed to report the advance portion on the 8812. And this is designed to make sure, obviously, you're not double counting, right? It's just an advance payment. It doesn't double your child tax credit. You just got it earlier than later. So if you have a child tax credit for $3,000 and you received $1,000 as an advance, you would report the $1,000 as an advance, and then $2,000 is what's paid with your tax return. Now, what a lot of taxpayers are doing is they are not reporting the advance payment. They got advance payments July through December, and then when they prepared their 8812, on line 14F in Part 1B there, they left that number blank. They put a 0 there when they should have reported the cash they already got. So again, the IRS is going to cross-check all this information with what's in their system. If there's a variance, they're going to automatically adjust your return. All right. Okay, fifth one on the list, recovery rebate credits. So the recovery rebate credit is the third stimulus check. So this was the $1,400 amount that was sent out in January, February, March 2021. If you did not get this third stimulus payment, you were supposed to claim it on your 2021 tax return. Now, a lot of taxpayers there's two issues. A lot of taxpayers already got the payment and are mistakenly checking the box that says I didn't get it, and so it's adding an additional $1,400 to their return. If the IRS sees that on your return and they know you already got a stimulus check, again, they're going to automatically adjust your return. The other issue we're seeing is there are taxpayers that genuinely never got it, right? They never got that third stimulus check, so they're claiming it on their tax return, but the IRS nevertheless thinks they did get a payment, right? And so taxpayers are getting their returns adjusted automatically when in fact they never got a payment. And so now we're still waiting for the IRS to give us some procedures as to how to deal with this. You can file a Form 3911 to claim the EIP3 payment. But again, because it has to be done through this return, my guidance to people that haven't gotten this payment yet is to wait until we get a little more clarity on what to do here. But that is, again, another big reason why you might not have received the full amount of refund that you thought you were going to get. Now, the very last one is just simply prior taxes owed. So if you filed returns in 2020, 2019, 2018, and you had taxes owed, and then obviously if you owe taxes to the IRS, they charge interest and penalties. If you have this balance due carried forward from prior years, and you get a refund for this year, the IRS is going to apply that refund first to the balances you owed, and then they'll cut you a check for the difference, okay? They're always going to want to get their money first. So if your refund check was adjusted by some obscure amount and you can't really chase it to the refundable tax credits for children, the stimulus check, maybe the earned income tax credit you never even had, if it's some really obscure amount and you can't really trace it, then that might be the issue. All right, it could just be some balance owed, and then when you add on the interest and the penalties that have accrued on the account, you find that it's some weird number that they just took off the top of your current year refund. So, again, like I said at the start of this, there's a number of reasons why your returns could be adjusted. These are, in my opinion, the top 6 that I see in practice. So you might be 1, 2, or it could be all of these for, just depending on what your tax profile is. But, again, going back to the top bullet points here. When you get that refund adjusted and then you get that notice in the mail from the IRS, carefully examine the notice, carefully examine your return, all the supporting documents. Really try to trace what it is the IRS changed, because you want to make sure it's accurate. The IRS, like I said, they do get things wrong often, right? I mean, they're a business just like anybody else, so they make mistakes. And so it's our responsibility to really make sure that we get things right on our side here. All right, so I hope that was helpful. Thank you for watching this update. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment below. Obviously, like and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And I look forward to seeing you again on the next video. Thank you.